Hi you guys, welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and today we're going to be going through where I am and my goals for 2023. And I guess probably in the course of this video I will make a decision as to whether or not I have earned one of the prizes I purchased at the beginning of the year to gift myself for making good progress on my goals. So I know, it sounds ridiculous. It even sounds ridiculous to me. Wait a minute. We're a little sideways now. That's a little bit better. It just keeps drooping further down. Okay, so we're going to pause this, and I'm going to fix the camera stand real quick. Alrighty, so I try not to edit things out of these videos as far as like technical errors, I misspeak, things like that. I try to keep it pretty real. The truth is there is no perfection here. And I love, I think it's Robert Walsh does the skincare videos. We don't strive for perfection because perfection doesn't exist here. Yeah, there is no perfection in this household, especially in this room. So, where did I want to be versus where am I so far? I have to say, just having done like the counts and stuff, I am super surprised as to where I am on my goal list and extremely pleased with where I am on my goal list. So I'm not going to lie, especially since how I've taken probably about 2.5, 3 crafting weeks, like the entire time I would normally actually spend crafting. And I've reorganized 1, 2, 3, 4 closets, my yarn wall, my yarn wall, my cake wall, the bookcase. We've done that as part of the Taming the Stash of 2023 project that I set for myself, the goal that I set for myself of getting all this kind of under control. I want everything where it's actually supposed to be. I also, I purged my closet. I reorganized all my shawls and scarves and things. I did a lot of work in our pantry, getting it put back together. Post holidays, we tend to buy a lot of stuff we don't normally have in the house, and it shoves a bunch of stuff we normally do out of the way. Also, at the beginning of the year, there are certain foods that only I eat that they only go on sale every 6 months. So I tend to buy lots of them at one time, and I have to figure out how to put those up on the shelves. So it's been a lot of reorganizing. I've done a lot of work at trying to get things around the house ready. I still haven't put out any normal decor. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's only been 2 months. I put out a little bit of stuff, kind of like a little frou-frou pinky stuff back in like February, just for the month that I had kind of around, but I haven't decided how I want my living room, dining room area to look. And I decided not to decorate, and I'm kind of like taking some of the stuff I knew we used to have in there and kind of sometimes putting it up there to see how I feel about it. So I've spent a lot of what would normally be crafting time working on my home as a whole. So I have to say, I am very shocked as to where I am in my goals, but even if I had been crafting with that time, I'm kind of surprised as to where I ended up. So anyway, if you are new to my goals and my goal check-in videos, this is the journal that I am using this year. It is the same journal that I made for 2022. I added a divider here in the middle of my project section, ending with 2022's projects here. And I added these in to separate the 2 years. I still had plenty of room left in this notebook to do this year as well. I follow tutorials by May Made It to doing the composition notebook covering technique. I did just get some more dry adhesive so I can finish my journals that I started, and I'm very excited about that. I ran out of the 1-inch double-sided dry adhesive that I use, and I just about had a little bit of a heart attack. I have plenty of eighth of an inch, because for some reason I've ended up with 20 rolls of that, but my 1-inch I ran out of, and that's one of the ones I use a lot. So anyway, this is the notebook. This is a photo play paper pad that I use to decorate it. I still need to take pictures of a lot of things and put the pictures in here, or print the pictures that I took of things I donated last year and put them in here. I still haven't done that for last year. That's really something I probably should have put in my goals. For the last 4 years, I have not scrapbooked anything. It's just what's happened. Sometimes that happens. So anyway, what have I done? Well, we do obviously have one thing highlighted and crossed off the list. Very excited. So one of the things I wanted to do this year was make it a low buy year. So for me, a low buy year, for every 100 grams of yarn I use in FOs, I get $1 to buy new yarn. So in January, I got $39.23 out of my used yarn. February, $39.03 in my used yarn. I sold yarn for $20 in February. I also sold $50 in January. I bought $5 worth of yarn, and then in March I got $44.31 for my used yarn. So if that gives you any idea as to where we're headed as we continue with these goals. So for Q1, my budget right now for the year to spend on yarn alone is $189.66, just based on what I've used. Now that's a really, really good news for me, because we'll have Q2 finished by the time I go to the 2 sales I'm really saving up for. So I could have close to $400 saved up for that sale. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not going to lie. It is around my birthday time, so I will probably also give myself an extra $100 to spend between the Charlotte area yarn crawl and the Southern Comforts fiber market here in Charlotte. So I can't complain. I'm pretty excited about where this is kind of settling up. That also means I'll be halfway through the next quarter, so I could already have $500 in budget to spend. So I'm pretty excited. I've completed 17 projects. Now that doesn't mean individual projects. Each month since I got the Addie King, I'm lumping a lot of projects together, like the pink and blue cotton candy looking sets that I did. All those kind of got weighed and counted together. So that might be like 15 hats and 15 scarves for one project. Things that I'm hand knitting and hand crocheting, obviously are still, well, obviously I'm hand crocheting because no machine can really crochet. So things that I am hand making from scratch by hand 100%, those are counting as their own projects. Also things like the blankets are counting as their own projects because those are pretty substantial projects. So anyway, first thing, low by year, we covered that. Finisher Frog WIPs from 2022. Haven't touched them. Same thing with 2021 and pre-2020. I did finish all of my 2020 WIPs in 2021. I've not kept up with that. All these tags here are WIPs from 2022. All these are 2023 WIPs. So we're already building a stash. I am planning on spending the month of April really honing in and focusing on finishing some of these projects. So hopefully we'll start seeing some of that change. We'll start seeing a list of things that I've come back and finished. Also with this last cleanup in the Taming the Stash, I found a bunch of WIP projects that I had totally forgotten about, like my Nuts About Squares blanket. So I'm not sure where that's going to fit in because I am not touching that right now. I do not have the brain capacity to touch that right now. But, you know, things like my hexagon scrap gan, my 4-patch scrap gan, not to mention, I do have all the squares that I made last year in 2022 to make blankets. So I have a lot of things that are taking up space in my upstairs area. So I would like to start getting some of those finished. I also have some half-finished projects in here that they became UFOs, and so Hopefully in the month of April, we'll see some more of the corner to corner and granny squares getting made. We will also start to see some of these old WIPs getting touched again, even if they're not finished, just getting touched, refreshed, frogged if I'm done. So anyway, I've done no spinning. My next goal is to spin 3 pounds of fleece. I've done no spinning. I've spent all of my separate time working on the Addy. So I've done no spinning on the spinning wheel. Finish 400 cards. So far, I made 42 cards. And you guys are going to die laughing at me. I made this big deal out of, why haven't I finished these Easter cards? I've had everything sitting here. I still didn't finish them. I made 42 of them, but I still didn't finish them. I got sidetracked by other projects, and I guess that's what's happened for the last 2 years. Hopefully I'll remember to come back and see this video when I'm mad at myself next year for not getting those Easter cards done and getting those Easter cards sent out, because they're still sitting on my dining room table too. Okay, Sarah. Let's see, cover 5 journals. I have none so far, but I have 4 in progress on my desk right now. So I'm very pleased with that. Sorry, I dropped my Post-it pad. 25 pounds of FOs. So I did not separate yarn FOs versus all of my FOs. I did make some wool laundry balls, and I did do some cards. So I have some non-yarny FOs as well, but I am at 13,558 grams of finished objects, which is 29.89 pounds. Pretty chuffed about that. Not gonna, like I said, I'm pretty pleased with where I've ended up. I'm already a quarter of the way through that goal. Last year, I didn't hit that goal. Finish 5 12 by 12 paper pads. I did complete 1. Finish 5 6 by 6 paper pads. Nope. Finish 10 rolls of washi tape. I did finish 4 rolls of washi tape. So I'm that's respectable at this point. I'll probably get through at least another 1 or 2 with the journals I'm working on now. So who knows where that'll end up. I think the most I've used in 1 year was like 48 rolls of washi tape. I don't think I'll quite hit that, but I could hit a substantial amount. Sew something, anything. I have not pulled out my sewing machine yet. I do need to take it to get it serviced, make sure it's all lubricated and everything, because I have not touched it for 4 years. Same thing with my serger. I'm going to have to go get that serviced. If it were just routine, I haven't touched it for a couple months, I would service it myself and oil it myself. I'm going to pay a professional to go ahead and do it this time. I have not run any of my donations. So while I do have 15 shawls and 10 hats that I can donate, I haven't taken any donations yet. So technically those are at 0, although I have the things to donate. Same thing with blankets. I think I now have like 5 blankets to donate in the box in there. Work up cotton stash. I haven't touched it yet. Finish 1 sweater. I am halfway through a sweater. I am doing a sweater collaboration make along with Connie's Crochet Corner, Ella from No Catchy Name, and oh good heavens, this is why I have that thing down here, because I will forget. There's Olivia and Shannon, right? Or am I making names up? Y'all, and I watch these channels. That's the sad part. Yes, Fiber Fun with Olivia and Shannon Talks Yarn. I was right. There's a reason this is here. So we'll be doing an update for that actually on April 11th if you guys want to tune into our channels. I am hoping to have touched it this month. So far I have not. So I'm hoping to have touched it by then. Finished 10 blankets. So far, I have completed 3 out of 10 for that goal. But once again, I have multiple blankets in corner to corner squares and granny squares that all I need to do is join a border. So, and I have my fingering weight blanket that I cranked out the tubes on the Addy. So I have lots and lots and lots of in progress blankets that hopefully this year I will get done. Finish the year with no scraps. So far, I'm doing great on my worsted weight scraps. I haven't touched any of my fingering weight scraps yet. I do have a project kind of semi going with the bulky weight scraps, and the DK and sport weight scraps are still, the acrylics are still going into my bed blanket. So we're good there. Finished 25 skeins of bulky yarn. Haven't touched it. This is the one we have marked off. Finished 10 fingering weight yarns. By that I meant 10 100-gram balls. So 2 50-gram balls or 1 100-gram Hank skein, whatever. So far I have completed 16.5. Now, some of those were 50 grams, some of those were 100 grams. So I did count it by 100 grams. So 16.5. Finished 25 cakes of yarn. I have 6 cakes of yarn according to my counting here. Work down Red Heart and Impeccable. So far I have used 20 skeins of Red Heart and Impeccable. Work at least one of my hand dyeds and one of my hand spun yarns. I haven't done that yet. So I'm very pleased. So far, I've completed 3 shawls this year. I have made 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 hats, 28 scarves, 3 blankets, and we just covered all this. I did use 2 sticker sheets. I did decide to count sticker sheets this year. I have completed 2 sticker sheets. Yeah, I haven't done any of the projects I set out to do specifically, but I can't complain with where I am. So I am going to give myself, just because we're a quarter of the way through the goal, I'm going to go grab it real quick. Because we're already, well, not a quarter, we're a third of the way through the weight goal. We've made substantial progress and everything else. I'm going to go ahead and give myself the Curzon paint can of fingering. This one's fingering, right? 25 grams. Yeah, I think that's fingering. It doesn't say. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself the whole paint can, which is, I mean, it's kind of like just a skein of yarn, but it's extra cute. So 1 prize for myself. I don't have a Q3 prize yet. I just have the other single skein of yarn. So I'll have to come up with a prize if I do well in Q3. But I have to say, I think I did really, really well. So while we're still here talking about goals, one of the things, if you're new to my channel, I do tend to do, let me slide move. I walk through my paper crafting empties. So sticker sheet, 12 by 12 paper pad, four rolls of washi, 2 rolls of ATG. I'm not trying to use this up. This is just a supply I use constantly. And that big case that everybody's like, oh, it'd take me forever to go through. I'm down to 4 boxes. So I have 1 in my drawer, 4 in. So it will take me 2 years to go through that. Which sounds like a long time, but then you realize how much tape was in there. And then it's like, oh. So these were some enamel dots. They went to the Easter cards that I did make. I finished off a package of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. While the project isn't finished, I did take some of these styrofoam snow bags and filled clear glass ornaments with the snow. I have a couple of plans for ornaments that I keep meaning to make, and I really need to make them so I can get those ornaments out of my storage and into projects. I need to get them finished. So step one, when I was reorganizing the holiday stuff, the decor stuff, was getting that far. So these are card bases. These are the 5x7 card bases from Paper Studio. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 packages of cards. So these are 12 cards each. So these may not all have necessarily been turned into cards already. Some of them just got put up in the storage. I do have open storage for my card bases because I do, once I start making cards, go through them pretty quickly. And I think almost all these were black and white card bases. It doesn't say on here. Which means if it's all in my open storage, it's not in my closed storage, which means closed storage can start being used for other things. That's part of taming the stash as a whole and tidying up my craft room as a whole is I want all of my card bases to fit on that card. If the envelopes are a whole nother story, because I do buy bulk like A2 size envelopes in white, and those come in like 6-box sets. So like, no, I'm not going to have all 6 boxes sitting out here that would take up my whole cart, but I would like to have one box that contains most of my 5x7s, one box that contains most of my A2s, one thing that contains all of my, like, I need access to these immediately envelopes. If I can do that, that will actually open up 2 squares on my desk cube storage, as well as some of the hidden spaces on the top. So that was actually progress, even though they weren't necessarily put into cards. They are in their storage spot. So that is what's in my paper crafting empties bin. Oy. I did want to show you guys this. Normally I can fit an entire quarter's worth of ball bands in one bulldog clip. That was not the case here. And I think I may be missing a month here, but I'm not entirely sure. I know I'm missing some just because I never brought them up and they're down here and I didn't feel like redoing counts and everything. There'll be a next quarter's updates, but Q1 ball bands. We have 20 Red Heart and Packable, 6 cakes. Fingering is 23 ball bands. So 16.5 100 gram units, but 23 ball bands plus some. So the total ball band count was 112 ball bands for this quarter. That's a lot of ball bands. That is a lot of ball bands. Not gonna lie. So I'm going to put these here. That way I don't lose them, but I don't have room on my desk for that many ball bands, and I'm trying to make sure everything lives where it's supposed to live. So for now, I'm going to put them here on the cake wall. That way they're there. I probably ought to rubber band Q1 together. But that's it. That has you caught up for where I am for my goals of 2023. May is going to be a weird month. I'm still planning on hosting the Spook Your Spring Make-Along. But as to how much I get done in that month versus how much I won't be able to get done in that month, I'm not quite sure. We have a very, very action-packed month planned. So it might be a little weird for what I'm able to get done. I'm probably going to have to do a lot more portable projects. So that'll make things like the Spook Your Spring Make-Along a little interesting, depending on what I try to do for that. So May, I know, is going to be weird. April, I plan on trying to really, really focus in on finishing WIPs, moving things out of like my bedroom, my living room, my desk area. I mean, I have my bed blanket that I started joining is at the foot of my bed. The 2 bags that I put these squares for the granny square and corner to corner blanket, those are in my bedroom closet. I do have the kits out of my bedroom closet now. They've been there for 4 years. They are now housed downstairs, which is a huge deal. I have a blanket project in a laundry basket beside my desk. My hexagon blanket that I started with the bold colors, that's still there, sitting beside my desk. I have the sweater project, a hat project, and something else in a gray bin on my love seat, as well as my fingering weight Addie King cranked out tubes sitting on my love seat. I have all 3 boxes for the Yarn and Stitches review, which hopefully next week I will at least have finished one of the 2 unfinished projects, and we'll be able to discuss, kind of wrap up with those ideas. Or my ideas about that box. I have 2 shawls and a scarf in a bin in my bedroom. I have 2 blankets, 2 pairs of socks. Yeah, you get the idea. There's a lot of random WIPs. I also need to go through my tags and see what I'm going to just frog. I also have a bunch of swatches, mismatched squares and stuff that eventually I think I'm just going to start piecing together in kind of a Weasley house-esque collage. Because I don't know what else to do with them. And like some are knit, some are crochet. So I think I'm just going to kind of mishmash things together and just kind of smoosh them. And then I may decide to border it, or I might just leave it all janky and wobbly and amorphous. It won't quite be, oh, what is it when you make little scrums and put them together? Freeform crochet. Like, it won't quite be like that, but it'll kind of be like that. So anyway, that's April's goal, is to start trying to make progress working my way through all of these WIPs that are just taking up space upstairs. Part of it is I'm sick of tripping over some of my projects, like the one by my desk. I also have the cart that lives by my desk. On the top, I use that a lot, but I think I have WIPs underneath that. And I also have my 4x4, my 4-patch scrap blanket is up there. I also have the fingering weight scraps to make fingerless mitts to match my cowl and hat that I made a couple years ago. So I have a lot of stuff to work on up there. And I'd still like to continue cranking things out. So yeah. All right. So I'm probably going to film 3 videos today. I'll probably film all week's content today, because I already have a basket full of FOs to share with you guys. And we will also have my Yarnable and ALC unboxing for this week. So this is the first video I'm filming. We'll see if I can get all 3 in one day. It'd be great if I could. If not, that's perfectly fine too, because we're not going to be mean to ourselves this year. No, we're not. We're going to make progress and be happy with anything we get done. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I love you, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye, guys. I need a clicker.